You know what? I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna take your word for it. Oh my god, the animation here though, like, oh man, the PSA animation, the government corporate PSA animation here. Okay, this shot here though, it's like, okay, hold on, let me just turn on like, uh, yeah, I actually noticed like the little like Godzilla, the what is it, the big chin Godzilla, like the little 3D there. Okay, I want to show like the part with the Godzilla here, right? It's like, yeah, this is like, yeah, so like what? It's like, man, so okay, this looks like a student project. This part looks like a student project, but you go to like here, right? You go to this part, right? Like, okay, I think it's okay, maybe it's my screen, like, okay, 480p, but okay, I'm gonna say because right now I'm streaming at 480p, and even maybe like I'm watching at 480p, right? Maybe my stream resolution is even lower. It looks so good like this. Like, it's so convincing. Like the way it blends, like the low res and everything. The model. Okay, like the model is probably just like a very like low res, like very like textured model, but I think it's just a combination of this and just the way it blends. I think it's also like the depth, like it also like play with like the focus a bit, like the way it comped. I remember this name, Totopoulos, the '98 Godzilla from like TriStar. Like yeah, just the way like this blends here, and it doesn't show like too much of it. Like just shows you what you need. Oh wow, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like the way it just appears like fades in, right? Like yeah, it just fades in and then it's like, oh, there it is. Wait, this from the animation, right? The Godzilla, the cartoon. There's a lot of callback to the old like Godzilla movie, like yeah, the '98 one. Okay, if I remember correctly, the movie itself doesn't have the atomic breath, but I think the cartoon have. So there's why this one actually like takes me out like a little bit. So wait, oh, I don't remember this have the atomic breath. Oh, okay, that's good. That the shot there, that shot there, little there. Last week I was just talking about Godzilla, right? And like what the monster was like after 2014, like everything else, like what it lacks, right? This is what I'm talking about. Like this is what I'm talking about here. Like the little, like the POV shot, like it just sells you like that sense of scale, like so well. Now, this is what like the older like Godzilla, like the newer MonsterVerse movie like is that the sense of scale and everything. Bro, what the hell is that, man? That looks so goofy. Okay, yeah, this yeah, it's just like this looks like came up from the news. Like, it's like from the news. I think oh my god. The news like style of like visualization, like the animators don't get paid enough. Okay, there's like I like the little bit of like mix of like real footage and like okay, this one here is most likely like is like 3D like a CG. Like it is most likely like CG here. Actually, I didn't even notice. Like one of yeah, I just noticed this thing is like pulsing. Like I didn't even notice like that thing is like pulsing there, like the tendrils, the branch. Is this Biolante? Yeah, the bug is like beating. Is this Biolante? Like I know some like Godzilla lore and like their kaiju names. I knew it. Soul of a Rose. Like it's Biolante. Yeah, I actually also like how it just adds like like the little like yeah dust particles here. You can see like the dust particles, like the way it flows. Like Akira, leave me alone. Yeah, what did Akira do to you, man? But yeah, I think I was like saying right, like it just sort of like they were kept alive. But yeah, I think I was just saying like the little like the dust there. Oh my god. Okay, this actually is almost like what is it? Okay, this reminds me of like something from like like the what was it called again? What is it? Like the living organism like national park like thing. I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called like, at the moment. Like it like yeah this like when you say like the people like they merge together, right? It reminds me like of like a little bit of like mystery flash pit national park thing. Yeah, okay, it's just like the little like dust particles like can you imagine help with what? Yeah, exactly. But I'm just gonna just talk about like okay, like the amount of effort like the setup this like the camera angle like like the CG like the CGI and everything the 3D modeling, right? But I'm gonna say the one thing that really sells it is like the dust particles. That really sells like that footage is just like the dust particles. It just adds so much like the what is it? Like I think again, just like looking at it as a still, right? It's like yeah, it's like so like this is like bad VFX 101, but like it abandoned and stuff. No, I like it feel like it was there, like like they okay, not I think the word it's convincing, like yeah, it doesn't. I think it's just kind of like yeah, all this setup here, like, it doesn't have to look like what the Hollywood quality, but it's just the little things here. It just like sells that footage. Okay, I'm actually just sort of thinking like also I think it's also just like the storytelling as well. Like it's like the way it didn't just like takes like from like the lore of like the 98 Godzilla, but it also he insert Godzilla. So I think that's how Biolante was made, if I remember correctly from like the lore. Um, like from like the Godzilla versus Biolante, like the plot. Like, I haven't watched the movie yet, but I remember the plot line. So just let me like kick this bot out. So like I just like yeah, this is like really well written fan fiction here. Like it just integrates so well. Like like again, when you look at this, like yeah, again, if you just put this as a still, right, it looks so bad. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't like put on like a full screen for this, but I think like I was saying, right, like yeah, it's just the coloring. It's just like a texture on top of like probably like a very smooth like a 3D model. But again, the lighting, the atmospheric lighting. Yeah, I also want to mention like the atmospheric like lighting, combined with like the dust particles here. Like this is so good, bro. The way he just slides like a T-pose, like just slides there. Actually, I want to say right, a lot of time like sometimes okay, this is just based on like I'm just gonna say I've watched a lot of like what is this, corridor like VFX artists react, and I just you can just sort of I learn like a few things out of like like what makes a shot like what makes like a shot looks like like well. I think this is one of those like like it, yeah, tiny arm. Oh my god, I didn't even notice like the tiny arm here. But I think it's just like the way the side is just like it's just like a pitch white, because I think it's just like the camera doesn't like have that much of like I don't know what is it, resolution or colors or whatever, right? It's like yeah, again, it's not about like how like good like it looks. It's just how it sells like the feel. Meanwhile, I'm just saying like the way like the like how the shot looks like it's just like that one shot from the ground. It almost looks like like a civilian camera, right? And then here you just have this like like this. I think it just like pasted into here. Like you can just sort of see like the difference between like like the footage and this is like so crystal clear. Also another thing I noticed. Okay, it just almost looked like the birds are just flying at like a straight line. Oh wow, that's a good explosion. I think the explosion it kind of almost like just sticks out a little bit too much. It doesn't blend too well, like to the. To be fair, I've never seen that. This is good. This looks dope. Again, I think like again, it's not something that just like like yeah, it's not the best looking, but I think it's just one of those like the rendering for this, like like the rendering for the smoke, the physics, everything. Like yeah, I think if I learn anything like smoke rendering is like what, like something like again just from what I learned from VFX artists react from like the boys at Corridor Digital is like smoke rendering, like they will like kill your rig. Okay, I see what they did there. This is like cause I was so confused. I was like, okay, why does it have like Shin Godzilla here while the rest like the previously the Godzilla footage is shown to like yeah exactly like 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 what I was thinking, like Shin Godzilla, what are you doing here? Because before this, like I'm just assuming this takes place in the universe of like the 98 Godzilla. But then suddenly here it's like Shin Godzilla. But okay, I kind of like this Wolf Cap's new model Anguirus too. But yeah, I think I was sort of saying like I think this is just like the storytelling, like the way it blends like it's like yeah. Actually, I think this is almost like smart as well because like a Shin Godzilla is like such a mutated abomination, right? And they use it in a context where Biolante is just like what? It's like a plant that's like mutated, like so mutated, and it turn. But when they infuse it with the like Godzilla DNA, it becomes Shin Godzilla. I just thought like, okay, that's so clever. Okay, that's very like clever use of like the like they use like the model of Shin Godzilla, but then they add a lore reason like oh Oh my god, that's so clever. Also, what the hell? Like, I just noticed, like, bro, Godzilla just went like just start throwing hands. It's just so, just the way that the Godzilla throwing hands there is just so. What the? Oh my god! Can I just play that again? Oh my god! Oh my, dude, the explosion is just. I don't know, man. Like all the way here, there's like such a good effort. I think especially earlier, you can see like the explosion there, right? Like the way it's animated. Then here it's just like a, yeah, like you said, Andres, just a green screen, like YouTube green screen explosion. Okay, that's so. I don't know, man. Just the way it holds Godzilla, it's like a rag doll there. Dude, it's like a dog throwing a chew toy. Oh my god, the physics there. Okay, some parts actually sort of looking like it's become like a bit rush, like going like as we go further into the video. It looks a bit rushed, like in some parts. I think this is just like the same green screen explosion with like a color grade. Denki Dama. Yeah, but that's one thing I like. I think I would just sort of say like the way the storytelling is, right? Is like I'm gonna say it's actually quite creative the way they use like the just gonna they didn't model all of this like from scratch. I think this is most likely like probably like a rape like or maybe like a low poly model like this like the 3D models here that they use all for all the Godzilla models here, and then there's like the Shin Godzilla there, right? I want to believe like it's I think the channel have a lot of these like found footage series of Godzilla. Okay, maybe I'll just check out like some of those like maybe after I come back from Arimagaki. But like I was saying, I think this is one of those where like the I think the director, writer, and everyone like it really make good use of like I think maybe like whatever existing Godzilla models they can find, and then I just think there was like, oh, I need a reason to like justify like an evolution between like like the small bio quotation small Biolante and big Biolante, like where is it? Like Shin Godzilla here. Like yeah, this is Shin Godzilla, right? Like I like the way they just sort of like they make they like I'm gonna say this is one of those like it's like, oh, we don't have enough budget to make like a brand new model from scratch, so like what are we gonna do? Okay, let's just take a Shin Godzilla model, just add some tentacles to it. Yeah, the lighting effects is like old school like effects too. Yeah, so okay, as I was saying, right, it's like okay, they need a reason to like justify, like it's like okay, let's just take an existent Shin Godzilla model, let's just put some tendrils in it, and then we just write a lore like it's like they're working like within the limitations, perhaps like the limitations of the budget, like they cannot afford to make like from a tank, yeah. So like like perhaps maybe they don't have like the budget for a for a model from scratch. So they just sort of write the story where, like Biolante, like when it like like it like grows as a tree first. Like it grows as a tree, but when you shut it down, right, it evolves into Shin Godzilla. And from Shin Godzilla, it plant itself somewhere, and then like it grows and become like the Biolante that we know of. And I just thought that's like really clever writing. Like, it's it's like, yeah, they're writing like like a law reason to justify, like, like perhaps like, like to justify the reason of, like, perhaps like, they save like some budget, like they save their budget, they save some like time from like to model like a model from scratch, and it just like feels so cohesive as well. And also I also just sort of noticed, like I was just surprised, like, okay, this is like the monstrous Godzilla here, like this is the monstrous Godzilla here, right? Where is it? Like, yeah, they use the monstrous Godzilla here, right? Like when I say my mind just connect the dots, right, is okay, if you remember like the lore from like the 98 Godzilla, it evolves from like iguana, it's a mutated iguana, and it becomes Godzilla. Like this, like the 98 Godzilla. And okay, I'm just gonna say there's like a time skip between, like, there's like a time skip between when they retrieve like the samples and from when it like becomes the Shin Godzilla Biolante. I'm gonna say it's okay. It's one of those, like, it's just show, don't tell. Like they didn't explicitly tell, but you just connect the dots. Like, oh yeah, like they just look so similar, like their head shape, right? So when from here, right, is the 98 Godzilla, it becomes like the monstrous Godzilla here, right? Where is it? Like, yeah, it just sort of like clicks, like, oh yeah, it makes sense, like, like the evolution, like, how like from like it evolves like from this to this. Like it's just like, again, those like show don't tell thing. Like it's just like, yeah, they just show it and it's like, oh, it makes sense. Like, no words needed. So yeah, I got CG honky. And yeah, I'm just gonna say this is just it's just like super effective storytelling, start to finish. That's like my rating for this.